development. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. We were just in the middle of something, but we are remember to record. So today's call is not about dev or specific software and technology, but more about the human, the community, and so on. And specifically, today we are going to discuss the sovereign community leading without centralization. Okay, which is the thing that we need to learn, understand, and be able to do. Uh, the idea of this community is to work together, learn together, build this future together, but at the same time, not losing our own sovereignty, meaning that you are not just part of the community, but this is your community. Resonant OS is not just a software that we co-build, but it's also your software. So the idea here is that you should have sovereignty and decide what to do and say, okay, I want to do this thing for for the Resonant DAO. I want to build this thing for the community. So what I'm doing for the community, for example, is I decided to create a YouTube channel and promote the manifesto and find people like yourself to invite inside the community. Okay, this is my action for the community. But I'm one of the member of the community. I'm really active. Okay, I'm doing a lot. Maybe I'm just active, super active. But it's I'm one of the member like you of the community, and that is my action. Okay, so you didn't ask me to do it. Okay, I didn't ask for your approval to do it. Okay, I'm just doing it. Okay, and yesterday Michelle it decided to do this thing with the graphic. Okay, and presented his atomic graphic. I can't remember. Sorry, Michelle. What's the name? Atomic.
Yes, it's atomic design.
Atomic design, thank you. So it decided to present to us the atomic design and start creating the thing. Tom yesterday showed us this resonantcloud.com, this portal where it's possible to run Resonant OS on the cloud. Uh, he decided to do it, build it. Okay, this is the sovereignty and leadership applied. Okay, that is decentralization. This is how it works. Then, of course, you see, each one of us come back to the community and share and say, like you did, Pascal, today. You said you build this thing. Okay, this is exactly what we need to do. And Momir is also been working on this, and Chimo created a YouTube channel where every recording goes there. So there is each one of us started to do more and work in that decentralized way. It's somehow it's a shift of culture, so it's not really easy. At the same time, what we need to do and what I want to do is to, of course, support each one of you, but at the same time, always remember that I'm not there to monitor or there to decide. But I'm there just to help you out. For example, Tuesday call, which is the academy, okay, is a day in reality is in the hand of Chimo, correct? Chimo, or I'm getting lost. It's Chimo is leading on that call. Okay, so what is happening at the moment? It's the because I really care, and because you people because from my channel mainly, only actually they come from my channel. So what I'm doing is I'm supporting the academy to grow. Okay, but I don't want to be give the miss signal that is I'll lead everything because that is not how I want to do it. Okay, I want to support as much as possible everyone of whatever you do. Uh, but yeah, then it's you need to to lead, be sovereign, and decide what to do, and yeah, and share it with the community. This is my approach. Okay, so now we should discuss about this. Okay, how do you feel about this? What do you need? I know that Sal he wants to do more, and it's a little bit, from my understanding, maybe I'm not wrong, but from my understanding, you're a little bit struggling with this idea of decentralization and stuff. What are we looking here?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to share in the middle of your conversation. I thought you would have to approve it.
Uh, yeah, uh,
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I thought you would have to check to let me in. I didn't know it was going to jump up in the middle of your conversation.
so yeah, can you? Sorry, Tom, because I like to see the faces when I'm talking, so because I can name people. Thank you. Uh, so yeah, because I lost the I was talking with Salah and I lost his face. So I maybe misunderstood you, Sal, but again, if you want to do something, I'm happy to support. If you want to do whatever activity, each one of us, and also those people that are new, okay? Uh, if you have ideas, if you feel like I would like to do this thing, okay, you share it with us, and we support. But if you want to do it, just do it. That is the
And I would add to that, like Thursday, I'm the one coordinating it, but it came out of Saul's idea that we needed a Thursday meeting for the community.
Tues Tuesday of today. You mean? Yeah, yeah, Thursday.
Yes,
Sorry.
yeah. Thursday, although it's the Zoom and all this, and I'm coordinating, but it's something that Sal and I work together, and Saul also, for instance, set the tone last week of a very important aspect of Thursdays, which is about what is your dream, what do you want to do, and that's what we need from all of us. At first it's very difficult because we all, and I talked to many of you about this. I've spoken separately with you about this, and you're like, yeah, but lead what? How can I get that? How do I know what I'm doing? But yeah, it's just we just prototype everything. Even the alpha is being built like that. It's not like we know that everything works and then we launch it. So the same with anything you're doing, Momir and Michelle, about communications, because that will help a lot as well on the Discord when new people come in, so we can say, well, you should talk to Momir, you should talk to Michelle, because there's this meeting on Monday, there's this meeting on Thursday, and it's human, and it's really, and it leads to a conversation with somebody, and that's how people get engaged. That's it. Pascal is
Thank
waiting.
you, Chima. Yes. So exactly. So there is Chima Sal that they want to correctly so and gladly so they want to look after the community and building and support and so on, which is from my perspective even more important of the software. Okay, this is at least is me because the what we want to build, the revolution that we want to make, okay, this the future that we want to build is built by a community. Okay, the software is a tool that we use, which we all love it. I mean, we love building it and so on. But at the end, when we see the real value, it's always the community. It's always us. It's always the people. Okay, we make the difference. So we need to. Uh, Find a way to look after each other and support each other and start understanding this journey of decentralization and leading without centralization, basically, a sovereign community. Um, I'd like uh, to hear from you whatever you have in your mind. Okay, share it. Remember, let's stay on this topic of the topic of not software but the community and building together. So, any one of you that wants to, Sal, go ahead.
A couple of years ago, I moved my mom and dad from their little village in British Columbia. We came over to Alberta, Canada. It's like the Texas of Canada. And when I got here, we moved to this little city, and all these people I kept seeing them around the town, and they were wearing these the women were wearing these scarves with like black scarves with white polka dots, and they were everywhere. And then these guys were wearing these black like coat like almost like a suit jacket, but they had these like puffy sleeves that I thought we left behind in the 80s. But that was anyway. But I didn't know really who they were. And people said, well, these are the Hutterite people. And I said, what? And so I had to look it up and find out, okay, who are these Hutterite people? Come to find out, you probably half of you already know this. They're people that live in these communities. And there's a place called Bow Island where there's one community, they just started farming. And they started saying, well, let's raise dairy cows and let's raise poultry and let's, plant corn. And pretty soon this community was so like rich, like millions and millions of dollars, they had to split up. So a friend of mine that I met down here, he said, you want to go and visit one? And I said, please. So I went out, and these people live in these like complexes. It looks like an apartment complex, but they all work together, live together, eat together, and you just couldn't believe how productive they were. And the community was great. Although, they're a closed community, which is the opposite of what we are about. But what I could see was the power that comes from when people share the intensity of their vision and just all of their resources. Like together, they really like. There's probably like 100 colonies, they call them, around in southern Alberta, and it's a really it's quite an image that I keep playing out in my mind about how like the resident DAO will become just like this, but it'll be so much more open because so many people that are like good faith people that just like will mean what they say and want to and have goodwill and want to come in and help out. I just see that that's like the same trajectory. Is it's going to be such a powerful group, especially if we can make the community real, which I think we're doing. So that's just what I wanted to share.
Thank you, Sal. And I want to add these things because sometimes community close themselves up for protection. It's not because maybe they're not friendly. Okay, they just need to protect themselves, the value from the noise outside, for whatever dangerous uh, behavior culture that is might be outside. So, but the point here is why I'm saying this thing, because to me it sounds like, okay, so we have a resonant DAO, but then within the DAO we know that we have is a community of communities. So, and some communities will want to stay close. So even for us, we should accept the idea of, okay, there is a community of a series of community within the DAO. They, for whatever reason they have, okay, they want to stay close to that niche, okay, to that reality. But then they want to still be part of the bigger part because of the system that the reality that we are building. Okay, so they should have the sovereignty of say, I'm going to build a inner community. I don't know how to call it, a colony. Okay, I want to build this colony and be able to stay close for protecting whatever world that they're building. Thank you. Pascal, your hands is up. I don't know if because you want to talk or if you forgot, you want to say something. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So when I first came across this project and I started reading the manifesto, I was like, and labels are can be dangerous. But when I first started reading it, it's like, oh, this is kind of a libertarian idea. As I read it further and listened and participated in the meeting yesterday, I'm like, no, actually, this is more of like a communitarian effort. And by that, I mean, there are like a number of principles that we kind of all agree on. Free self-association. So the people who want to be involved do so out of their own free will and they contribute out of their own free will. The notion of contributing to the whole, whether that's through software or testing or documentation, those kinds of things. The one question I still have, and I'm just new to this group is whether the end goal is to have a personal piece of software that runs on each of our machines. And then, if that's the case, what are the nodes for interaction and for information sharing across these? Because that can be very powerful, because as we go along, we can be sharing knowledge bases with each other and improving the capability of each of our individual nodes. Thanks.
So as we are building in a decentralized way, we leverage the decentralized technology, so blockchain. So, the knowledge, the decentralized system, the decentralized way of communicating, working together, and so on, is done over the blockchain. So we are gonna have that kind of a protocol to build upon. Okay, so it's not about a centralized server, but it's whenever it's possible, because not everything is possible, it's gonna be on the blockchain. Or even if it's a centralized server, then things that happen inside that server will be hashed, so saved as a photograph inside the blockchain. Okay, so there is a proof of whatever. Okay, that something happened, that something changed, that something is on in progress, and so on. Did I answer your question, or there is cool? Anyone else that wants to add on this? There is a lot of new people I see, and I'm one of those person that really like the camera on. So if you can, I would really appreciate to see each other. It feels like uh, more human, more community. Thank you. Anyone else wants to add on this?
I just wanted to ask one thing that I heard yesterday. Tom was mentioning this three amigos, or what was this? I think these are the good things to create this kind of micro cells with some kind of profiles that needs to join to create this nucleus, then which can grow organically further. But I would like to hear. I think that you were mentioning something about some like those three amigos, or how did you say?
The tribe, yeah.
Yeah, the try, and then three profiles. But I didn't hear well, so maybe if you can just, I think it's a good direction to create this kind of basic form of cooperation on top of everything. Then can maybe
So, yeah, thank you, Mamir. So,
yeah.
time ago, I shared this article about the bottom up, okay, as a system that is much more efficient in moment of high distraction where things are changing really fast. So, like at the arrival of AI, that means from the bottom up, it's much easier to organize and see what is needed instead of the top down. Okay, most corporation works from the top down. They create that kind of friction, though, giving to manager to manager. Then finally something happen. Okay, and that creates a lot of friction. Instead of for the bottom up, each one of us, each one of you is feeling, there is a need of this. Okay, so resonant OS needs this, the DAO needs this. Okay, we are during our call we should have this, and therefore you take action, you with a group of people, and to do it. So apparently, first of all, the idea of the bottom up and small groups is because it's high efficiency. There's less need of hierarchy because you can meet each other. Okay, 3 people can meet and talk. 5 people can meet and talk. 200 people need a structure. Okay, so that's why if you start thinking about tribes, so 3, 5, 10, okay, people in a group, then you are really agile. You can do a lot. You can even think about something that is bigger and then divide into smaller groups. Okay, but that is how the idea come out. So in the older Resonant OS, not this version, the older Resonant OS, we had already implemented this tribe. The tribe implementation was connected to the blockchain. So there will be like bounties, meaning things to do for the community. So let's say during this meeting we decide that we need to do these 10 things. Okay, we create a bounty, meaning we publish them what to do. There is a smart contract connected and a token reward for doing it. Then people can say, okay, let's put a tribe. Let's find other people that wants to work on that on the task. Let's get together and work. So there were in the older version an interface that help people was not finished. Okay, was no was just a draft, but was a way for people to find each other to work on a specific project or uh, bounty. Tom, would you like to add on this?
Please. So exactly, those soft, discrete teams.
The camera is off. I don't know if it's by design or okay.
It was an accident. Sorry. So those discrete teams are how we operate when we're working in agile teams and sprint teams. You try to break it down into the most necessary people or the least number of people that's necessary to get the project done. It makes you move a little more efficiently. And usually that is a subject matter expert, a developer, tester, that sort of mix of people. And I posted some stuff there. It's a software development technique, but it correlates directly to the tribes. And if I could share with you guys something that will hopefully facilitate that. Manolo, you mind if I share?
Yeah, share, but Tom, remember this is about community. So
Yeah,
let's not go into
absolutely.
the technical part. Thank you.
No, it's all about the community. So here's the first version of a community hub page. This is a place where members are able to sign in and activate with the DAO and connect with Phantom Wallet. This was connected with Phantom Wallet. And now I can look at, for instance, Manolo. I can see his contributions. These are all correlated to different types of contribution tokens. And this allows us to, look at what we've done, look at these contributions even on, GitHub, whatever's there, right? And the other aspect of this, I haven't worked out yet and need some opinions on the ability here to form a tribe, right? Because now we're just meeting in Discord, we're meeting on Zoom, and then we DM each other and we start, it's a little bit loose. It's working, but it's a little bit loose. If we could officially make this a place where we can connect and form tribes and then carry on through a project. So we're also, like you said, recording what we do and kind of have a historical archive of the progress as we move along. Just gives visibility to everything that we're doing here. Again, just first kick at this, resource pages, right? This helps us to get all the things that we need for the community out there, the community resources, white papers, getting you up to speed on the systems, all the links for our historical information. And then I've replaced, hopefully, Zoom so that we can actually, well, it's broken, but of course it's a demo. But I've built in a Zoom element here so we can have a Zoom meeting within this page, and it can save that archive and do transcripts so we can have our own video sessions here. The recordings, these are the recordings of our meetings, right? So it's just a historical archive. Again, this helps us with keeping up with the events because I'm constantly trying to figure out where we're going, what we're doing. This lays out our events and lets you RSVP to them, put it on your calendar, just making it a little more convenient and a little easier to connect. What do you guys think?
Amazing work, Tom. I think there is, somehow in some of these things should be within the app, okay, within Resonant app. So you open your Resonant OS, and then you have exactly, you have probably at one of the tab on the left. It's all this is the community. Okay, and then you see event, you see recordings, you see the ranking and so on. Uh, we need to work on that part because all these elements that you're doing, Tom, need to be part of need to be connected to the smart contract. So it's all about the blockchain technology connected to it. But yeah, it's great. So yeah, we need to only understand how to do it. Uh, whether it makes sense because at the moment the resonant DAO is supposed to the website is supposed to do the thing that you shared here.
Yeah, and this is just a concept. It doesn't have to
Yeah,
stay
yeah.
on this page. Like you said, it will be embedded here, right? But also for people that don't yet use the ROS system,
They
they can
should,
still
yeah.
join the you can still join the community, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly. But it should be the resonantdao.com as a place
yeah,
for the DAO.
yeah. And
Yeah.
the only reason I did this is to give you an example
Yeah,
of what
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
it
yeah. No,
could
no, no.
be,
It's
and
amazing.
then we can add it in here, right? It can be merged in. I tried to make it side by side, seamless, but so add it in here so that we have this functional page.
Yeah. And then we can keep this resonant claw for the thing that you're doing for the server part.
Yep. So
Uh,
we can merge
nice.
this at some point whenever we have time. I just wanted to give you guys a first view of something that I think could work for us. And I think it follows the model that we've all been looking for. So if we can merge them together and put it in the right place, make it usable. It's just the first version.
Yeah. Have in mind, Tom, the resonantdao.com, it's on GitHub. Okay, I don't know if you have the credential to actually look at it, but this is run on GitHub. Okay, so if you change something on GitHub, it's going to be changed on here as well. Does that make
Okay.
sense? Uh,
It's hosted on GitHub.
yeah, it's also on GitHub.
Okay.
Most people don't know, but GitHub can work as a hosting for just basic website, like the Resonance DAO at the moment. Uh, Pascal, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, this is really great. I was involved in the Fedora Linux community as an ambassador for many years. And what I like about what you've done here, Tom, is it shows the people who are involved, it shows the areas that they're involved. And so if a new person coming to the project, this is a great dashboard for them to learn the different ways in where how they can contribute, and also maybe who they can speak to if they're interested. So, great job.
Yeah, it's
Thank
super
you.
cool.
And added in my agent, thinking ahead, right? He's part
Nice.
he's part of the team. He's been
Maybe,
contributing heavy.
maybe we need to think like icons that are easy to understand. You see, for example, human has have a circle icon, and the agent has, for example, a square one.
Okay, great idea. Yeah,
Uh,
we'll
so people can
do
recognize
that.
right away what kind of account is behind the thing. Um,
Sure.
Another thing that we could, I mean, we shouldn't talk about the tech part, but I'm gonna say because I'm gonna forget. Actually, I already forgot. Better. Chimo, go ahead. You wanted to say something.
Yeah, this is amazing, Tom. Love it. And I wonder when you said about the tribes, you already have pioneers there. So
Yeah.
I don't think it should be, you already have the concept. So you could have, the different tribes. And as soon as somebody is regularly contributing in the meetings or in the work they do or whatever, you add a badge, and without copying the model of academia. So we just attribute the symbols to people that participate in the different tribes. I think that's great. I love it.
Okay. Then I will flesh out the tribe view along those lines. And guys, I'm not married to this, so I don't take it personally. Just tell me what you like. We'll tweak it up, and we'll get it put where we need to. We just need something functional for the team.
No, Tom, it's really good. You remember what I've done in the first version on the older version. I stopped there because what it needs, we need to connect to the smart contract and DAO. Okay, because everything needs to be connected to the DAO. It needs to be real, not just because, for example, the idea of you see, Chimo was saying, you see, that we give the pioneer how do you call it, thingy, okay, recognition
A badge.
badge, okay, but in reality it should be not we give, okay, but the system itself, the software itself, when you start doing something, recognize your contribution, and then they automatically you gain the badge. Okay, it should be not that a human decide, because human, we should have the power to say, you have it or you don't. Okay, I like you or you don't. I don't like you. Should be you do something, you get recognized by the system. The system is unfair. Is a sorry, it's not bias. Okay, it's a software. We decide. We created the rules together as a community. As a community, we can change the rules. But once we define those rules, your contribution will be recognized by the software. The software will give you those tokens, and at one point you receive the badge. Okay, then you can have maybe the badge with different stars. Okay, because of the level of contribution and so on. Chimo, go ahead.
What you're saying for me, in order for me to participate in the community in the decision, I need something like this to trial test experience and know what I want. So I think it's great to have it before the DAO, something with this where we can feel, oh, this is unfair, this doesn't make sense. And then it becomes something, because I can't vote for, I can't express what I want yet. When we discuss how is it going to be fair, how are we going to, I don't care until I start doing it. I don't care what we do. I just want to try things and play and then move on.
Yeah. It's but that is the only way to understand if something works. We need to test it for real. AJ, you're muted.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe we could have a beta part on this, Tom. Like the regular people, included, just to test it. And like what Chivo said, just have something that we can work with, and get some experience from. And then later on down the road, when we have the DAO kind of more built out, we can integrate it together. Just something that we can test on and use and get familiar with. And then when we move to the DAO, when everything's connected, we already have experience with this, with like a platform like this. I think it'd be great.
And I could see this forming into, so I don't have the tribes built in, but what I had the guys do is, if you look at Michelle, these are like real contributions, and I just had it do that calculation. Like I didn't put these in here. I just said, look at what Michelle has done and see what you think this will be. What is his community value? What is his governance helping? What has he done for design? And so I'm trying to do that sort of automated calculation on it. And if we can form into tribes, then, that will, I guess that maps into the contributions. And then also another side benefit is if we can get, tribes working so that we have collaboration tools like Discord, so we're not losing all of our, if Discord goes away or our channel gets nixed, we've lost all that conversation, right? So I would really like that to be in the DAO. And also our AI can scrape all the conversations and have like a view of everything because right now we're kind of everything in the Discord channel is kind of invisible. It would be nice if we could have visibility and use that back and forth information from our community members as part of the larger context. So let's say a tribe is working on something over here, and the DAO recognizes, oh, there's a group over here doing the same thing, or they posted up a milestone or a feat that they've done, and it's very similar to what you're doing. You guys could talk, so the AI can help us collaborate and be a little more efficient, and just bring us together a little bit, help accelerate things.
Yeah, totally. Well, Sam, 1 second. We should try understand the idea of doing an MVP like this, but in theory, doing it with blockchain is not something that is it's just a different language. It just understand a few steps and then you embed blockchain instead of a normal database. Okay, so somehow it's not that complicated. So we could try to do this MVP directly on the blockchain. So
I'm looking at Big Chain. If you've looked at Big Chain, I've looked at them.
We need to use
There's a
Solana as a blockchain.
Okay. You can help me out with that.
Yeah,
please.
because they are not all the same. There is a reason why we need to do with Solana. It's a strategical and financial reason. It doesn't mean that. I mean, at the moment, it's also the best of what we want to do. But there is a lot of decision why we need to go to a specific blockchain and not another. They're not all the same. But yeah, Tom, I'm glad that you start doing a lot of work. So that means we should probably have a Monday meeting only is not enough for what we are trying to do. So we could have middle of the week calls so we can work faster.
Well, let's see. Maybe we can put it on the calendar here.
Sam, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say a Discord bot to integrate into all of this would be really quite simple. We could easily get that, and then it would have entirely live access to everything that goes on in Discord. When people join and leave voice, transcriptions of voice, transcriptions of all of the text channels and everything. I do that quite a lot with all of my stuff, because everything I do with all of my agents, they're all Discord bots, and so they're programming this stuff all the time.
If we could have a bot that feeds into a model and we're constantly feeding into that model, that would be great. And then we can use that as an information source.
Yeah, that's easy. I'm up to play with that stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, Sam, if you can lead on that bot for Discord would be amazing.
Cool, we'll do. I'll talk to who runs the Discord server. Is it you or Chimo?
I think also Chimo should also have everything as a.
We both can do anything you want. Yeah, I can. Sorry, I'm gonna mute you for a second. I can mute you. I can hear a lot, and
so I'm gonna mute everybody that are not talking right now.
Yeah, Sam, I can meet you the same way we did the other day. Our little testing. I can meet you, and then you can guide me, and I can help you with whatever permits you need and whatever. Yeah, let me know.
Done. Sounds good. Okay then. Sorry, I'm gonna get back to work.
Thank you, Sam. Yeah. So, Pascal, your hand is up.
Yeah, is there a meeting to walk through registering on Resonant DAO? Because I'm trying to do it right now, and
Yeah, don't, it doesn't work. That's why.
okay.
It doesn't work. So the Resonant DAO is live, but it's not. It's we are what is happening? We had the DAO already built, okay, but it's I want to start all over and change some parameters, and then we will be able to register again. Okay, because we built in a different. I mean, I'm trying to make it easier because I realized that For me, it was easy, but for people that are not part of the blockchain, it was already too complicated. So I want to start over and make it easy for everybody.
Yeah, and we want to also include some of that on Tuesday, so we have software landings for people as well, where we work on that, on how to make it easy for everybody.
Which,
Yeah,
remember, is not gonna be easy. Okay, it's just gonna be easier than when we had, but it's not gonna be easy. But
well,
yeah,
on this one, I basically set it up so you could sign in on your Phantom wallet. And I know there's a couple more pieces behind it, but once you sign in, then you can add to the calendar and you can participate in the site. Otherwise, you can't get in the site. So
exactly.
whatever mechanism you want for hooking that up between the DAO and this and merging these together, whatever form it takes, absolutely. Yeah, sign in and then everything is tracked by the token.
Exactly. All right. Yeah, yeah. At the end, because of AI, okay, because of the AI, at the end, it's not that complicated. So we can embed the smart contract in a lot of actions without too much trouble. Anyway, now going back to the.
I can stop sharing.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. Amazing work, Tom. Again, I really appreciate. Sam, are you like this because you want to talk? Sal, sorry.
Yeah, I do not know how to. I'm on my phone for the first time with Zoom, so I couldn't find how to put my hand up. I just want to say something to Tom or everybody. When I think about like what we're talking about something that we are going to be using down the road for the DAO, which is like 100% reasonable. But I'm also thinking about like I think about all of these people that cannot make these meetings. They just or they live in the East. They live in the part of the world that they're just not going to be able to participate. I was thinking about like when we were about having. I'll just spitball it, and then you just tell me what you think about having something that's a little bit more immediate. That's like a general room where people can come on from all over the world. That we're telling people if you want to come and just have conversations about this, come to this room, and there'd be like just a main room, and then there's always somebody in the room, whether it's video or if it's just chat, where we can engage with people. At my wife showing up here. If only she knew. Anyway, where we could be engaging with all of these people that are very interested, but they can't get here, and that would be a really great addition. And just put that into the whole matrix of it. I was thinking.
It's a good idea, and in theory, on Discord we have some audio channels. Maybe we need to make it more explicit that
Or maybe we should start even with the MVP of what Saul is saying, just start announcing, the Pacific Times meeting and just a few of us start hanging out there until the crowd starts gathering. Like here, these meetings took a while and now they're super active and they're fantastic. They're very engaged, but it takes a minute. So yeah, I'm happy to also meet early in the morning for me, which might be a good time for them. Yes. Okay.
let's before building creating new channel, let's see if we can use channel that already exist because we started to have like an insane amount of channel
I know.
become like
I
a
have
nightmare.
so many.
Um,
And I wanted to ask, because I created the UI prototype studio channel because somebody asked me. Yeah, we need to discuss that at some point as well.
Yeah, we started communicating on that one. And Michelle and I have been sharing some things. So thank you for setting that up. And I know I don't want to flood Discord. It'd be nice if we can tribe up. The only mechanism we have right now is group up into Discord, but we'll fix that.
yeah. It's. I mean, we lost Sam, but Sam, in theory, has a lot of experience with Discord, and sometimes it's about having some channel that only visible if you have a specific badge. Okay, so we can create these tribe badges that you see something only because you have that badge, and therefore you don't have a massive list of channel with everything is active. You don't know what to do. It's just overwhelming.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and also group them. I'll ask Sam what he recommends because it's a bit like what you have the AI artisans. So maybe group some of the channels so they don't clog for the general.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Michelle, also, we all of us meet at different times when we need to do things. It might be on Saturday at whatever time. So if there's a certain time in which you want to meet with us and discuss anything, I can join with Saul or Tom or whoever it is, and we can listen to you properly outside of your working hours. But we have the regular 8 o'clock meetings, but whenever somebody wants to discuss or work on anything, doesn't mean we're married to the 8 o'clock.
Yeah, and I'm available most hours. I just I'm here at home, so unless I've got something else going on.
All right. Anybody else wants to have any questions? Anything? Maybe you have a dream. I want to do something specific. You want to do something specific, and you're not sure about them, but you feel like sharing. Michelle, I see you that you unmute yourself, so you wanted to say something. Yeah, you're unmuted, but for some reason we can't hear you. Still. It's like the microphone. Select
Didn't Chimo and you mute everyone a moment ago because of some hot noise?
No, he's
No.
unmuted now. He should be able to speak.
So on the bottom left, you have the microphone symbol. Click on the little arrow next to the microphone, and you should be able to select the microphone. Still nothing. Are you on computer or iPad? One or two? One. Okay. So on computer, move the mouse on the bottom left, and you should see the microphone icon. And then
so
there is
hard.
a little
Yeah, just-
arrow there, and you can select the hardware microphone, whatever kind of option you have. No, maybe log out. I mean, exit and come back. Or if it's a Windows computer, restart the computer. That will fix everything. So again, there is some new people. So if you feel like sharing, say something, even questions that you're curious about, Pierre.
Yes. Manolo, yesterday I asked you a question about if the DAO was already registered. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And of course, this is my second call, so I'm pretty new and I'm trying to understand how is everything going to be built. But going back to the community, the DAO, I built a DAO and I already registered the DAO. And the reason you want to do a DAO is you want to have some legal protection. Okay. If the software is going to be owned by the community and there is no company behind it, there might not be a reason to have a DAO for that legal protection. So there's another, and of course, you mentioned something, unless you're into crypto and you understand the blockchain, a lot of people are not going to understand what a DAO is or how it works, how you connect to the DAO. There's another option that if you don't need that legal protection, because there's no one owner, something called INO, Internet Native Organization. If you can look into it, because that might be right now that this everything is starting and this community is starting, that might be a better route than a DAO.
Sorry, it's called
Unless you register the DAO,
IAO.
INO,
INO. Internet?
Native Organization. And actually, you're in Italy, right?
Yeah.
There's this big organization in Estonia,
Yeah.
and or I can send you the information of the Internet Native Organization .org.
Yeah, I'm there.
But that might be a better option if we don't want to have that legal protection, or if we don't need that legal protection. In my case, I did register in the state of Wyoming here in the United States, because I do have the company that is responsible for building the software. So there has to be that protection for that company. So I just wanted to throw that out and see if it's
Yeah. So the registering a DAO is something somehow new, okay, relatively new. Okay, before there was no an entity. Okay, in most country actually it doesn't exist the idea of a DAO. So you can also have a DAO without registering. Okay,
right.
It's not like you are forced to register. What we need to understand is what is the benefit to register or not. So if you're looking, for example, investors and so on, if you register, you can have a bank account, you can have, a legal position, then an investor can invest on you. If you have nothing like this, a company can legally cannot invest on something that doesn't exist. Okay, so it's all about understanding those elements. Now, there is not a final decision made. That's why we doesn't exist anywhere at the moment, because there's not a final decision made, and the idea is to connect with the community, discuss, and then decide together what to do. So you, Pierre, you're doing the first big step of suggesting an alternative, and you already registered, so you have experience about it, and you can share the pro and cons, especially from the US point of view. Because
Yes.
here in Europe, also there is not many countries where it's possible to register a DAO. Okay, I think it's Malta and Switzerland, and maybe that's it for Europe.
Right. So I will look into the Internet Native Organization, because at the end, that's what we're doing. We live in the internet. So it's an organization that lives in the internet. We all connect, but without having to have that as a DAO.
The thing of the DAO is because we need a token, because we are building a financial system. So
Right.
that is the reason of the DAO. It's not for the jurisdiction, for the legal aspect, but for the structure itself of governance and the token and so on. For that part we need. So are two different problems that happen at the same time. Okay, one is the legal part, one is the technology to manage the token, the governance in a decentralized system like the one that we are trying to build.
That's the blockchain, and that you can have those tokens. Some of the tokens that you were talking, it's pretty much like an NFT. You participate in something, you get a special.
So, did you have a chance to read the white paper?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, those things I explained there. So there are some NFTs. There are some NFTs that are not that are locked to the address. Okay, so you can't move it. So you gain the NFT and you have it. There are some tokens that the reputation tokens, they give you points, basically like experience in a video game. Those cannot be moved. Then there are tokens instead. They have let's say a financial value, a utility. And those tokens can be shared, so we can pay each other for each other's services and so on, reward each other in tokens. Okay, and then there is another token that is gonna happen in a couple of years' time. But so have a look at that part. I will read about this INO. Sounds really interesting, and then because probably maybe the two things you can have both of them. Okay, the DAO is a way to structure blockchain. It's not a legal element. Then company, I mean, in the US and some country, now you can register a DAO legally, but it's a structure for the blockchain. It's how you manage the governance within the community. Okay, that is a technological aspect. And then maybe legally, instead of registering a DAO, we register this INO.
Right.
It be both of them. You see what I mean? We need to. I'm gonna read and consider. Thanks for sharing this. And if it's in Estonia, would be amazing. I mean, it's so easy.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll keep coming to the meetings. I really like the project. I thought I was the only crazy guy in this world doing what
There's a
I'm doing.
lot.
When I found this community, I'm very happy to participate, bring whatever I'm doing. Uh, I am building a company with AI, zero human intervention. So, and I've been pretty much through your journey. I started this journey in when COVID hit, and I've been studying crypto, blockchain. Then I got into the AI, and I've been testing everything. But I found myself like I'm alone. If I talk with someone, with some friends, they don't even understand what I'm trying to explain. So to, to find a group that I can share my things and they will understand.
Nice to have you here. I really appreciate your contribution, your experience about this, because I've been in part of the blockchain since 2013, but I never registered a DAO. Okay, I had DAOs, I've been part of DAOs, but never registered because somehow it's a new thing. Um, Both Chimo and I shared some links inside the Discord, and I also realized that there are now two white paper, so we need to figure out a solution for that. But so
I
check
introduced
those.
Discord, so if anyone wants to see what I'm doing, and then later I can share my project.
Yes, please.
But
Yeah,
I'll
thank
be
you,
happy.
Pierre. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Sam, 1 second. Z Salt, if you have question, ask them. Okay, don't worry about even if you haven't read. If you have question, ask. Sam, sorry.
I have a personal request, sort of. It's a thing that I'm working on at the moment. So as you know, I'm doing a voice interface system. What I want to from the community is I want to hear from people about specific use cases that they would want this for. So I've already loaded up all of my use cases into the bot, and I'm working through them trying to build it. But I want more test cases, more things that say like, okay, hey Sam, I would use this thing for this purpose here. This is why I would use it. Give it to me, make it for that purpose, and then so basically I have more direction for exactly what I'm programming.
Absolutely,
and what
incoming.
works, what doesn't.
I have several.
Yeah. Because what I'm doing at the moment is I've got the voice bot and I'm programming it, but I haven't quite lost direction with what I'm doing. I know where I want to do it and how I want, but I also want more examples of where this works and why, so that I can keep a generalistic but not lose myself to try and make the everything bot, which it currently is looking to try and make. And I'm just like, I'm sort of, no, that's too general. I can't manage that. I can't do that, but maybe I can do this, and this. So if people could contact me on Discord and just either DM me or voice call or just put an AI report or whatever for whatever use case they may be interested in for how they can interact. So the purpose of it is that the system I'm designing at the moment is pure voice. That is, you log onto a system, you've got a headset of some kind, and you talk, the AI responds, and all of the information in and out is by voice alone. There are systems and situations where I use visual as well, especially when I'm doing things like control my mouse, control my keyboard, that sort of thing. But the point is that if I'm in the car driving, I need no other interface. There is no requirements for any other interface bar the voice itself, and everything can be run that way.
This is a really important piece, Sam, and I really appreciate it. So I've got 2 or 3 use cases. I've already kind of told you sort of it, but if anyone else can think through some of that, this piece will be prominent when we have multimodal agents. So thank you for working on it.
Totally. Thank you, Sam. And maybe just suggestion. Maybe I don't know if there is within Discord a way of collecting data. Like maybe the pool is not the right tool, but maybe there is something similar. So you can, present something on Discord, and people can, I don't know, like a pool kind of idea. That
Oh,
people
okay,
can
like polling, yeah. Yes, there is. There's plenty of that.
a poll. Yeah.
Yeah, you can put a post up and get reactions. You can do announcements. You can do polling. You can do forum posts. All kinds of stuff. Yep.
So
Threads.
this could be a way to experiment also that kind of functionality. So you show us how it's done, and we learn, and then maybe we can use in the future for other things as well.
Yeah, certainly.
So
Okay.
I want to share one of my dreams, okay? Because today is the day of making wishes. So one thing that I would love to have at one point, okay? A sort of hardware. I use this thing a lot. You can see it here. It's a small recorder. It's not intelligence. It's just a recorder. Just recorded. That's it. Then I manually connect to the computer and then transfer my recording. That every day I record at least an hour of me thinking. Then I connect to the computer. The computer process this and create a transcription and then an analysis, specific analysis of what I've been talking about. Uh, but it's completely not intelligent. I think I don't know. I mean, there are objects like this one, similar to this one, like a pin that connect to internet and so on, sorry, to AI. But then you need to pay subscription. You need to share your data with a corporation. You become basically, you've been captured. They have your data and your money, which is insane. Okay. Instead, we need to start thinking as a dream, okay, at the moment, thinking of hardware that we own, but it's open. Okay, so meaning we can write software for it, and without be dependent on anybody. Like the glasses that now they're making with the camera. Yeah, you need to give your data to, which is insane, it's madness for me. You need to give your videos to Google and to Meta and so on. Okay, so they can see your life, which is beyond the belief. Instead, if we do something that is, let's say, open source as a hardware, then we can write our software. The data stay with inside our computer, and so on. So this is my dream, Pascal.
Yeah, building on this, generally repatriating one's personal data from the internet and having the software be a kind of digital locker for whether it's photos or posts. I still have like screenshots of when I was in graduate school in the 1990s posting to Usenet, things like this. And there's not really a one solution for preserving and stewarding one's digital footprint.
You have a solution in mind, or you just throw this like I did? I have no solution. I'm gonna say it.
Oh, no, just the idea of this would be perhaps a good use case to start out with, because people have lots of data about themselves scattered across the web and such.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I have no idea how to resolve that. I mean, there is, in theory, through blockchain, there is people that doing like decentralized hard drive. So you can have your data decentralized on this massive network, but encrypted, so nobody can see what is inside, and you have access. That is there. Okay, but there is always a cost because you need to reward those people to do it, which I mean, which makes sense in some. Okay, instead of paying, I don't know, Amazon, AWS, you pay your community members, which is fine, I guess.
Manolo, could I tell you about a small project I'm working on that's related to that?
Yeah.
So the same problem, right? I'm wondering, how do I get all of my data in one place? Because I've written so many pieces of code and specs and everything, right? All my sites, everything I've ever done. So what I had put together, and this I haven't got it working yet, but essentially, we're storing a lot of our AI conversation history and all that stuff in Markdown files, and that's becoming like our context memory. And so we're starting to get like this sprawling set of memory, and then we also got our documents, which you're putting in the living archive, and so you got data spread out everywhere. So what I had done is put together, it's a short-term, long-term memory module combination. Essentially, one is looking at your long-term data, feeding it into a model where it actually gets your data is fed into the model and compiled into the model. And then you have and that's like the neocortex, and you have a hippocampus just sitting there constantly collecting short-term memory and feeding it in near real time into essentially a memory pod. And then later it's doing a constant consolidation back into the neocortex piece. And I'm using these medical terms because that's the only way I can give you the analogy. And for me, I want to send all of my documents, my data, everything I've ever done into this memory system. That way I can query it. And then it can also produce those things back out to me. So if I feed it a document and later I'm like, hey, can you give me that document I wrote 5 years? And it's like, here it is. And it's not coming out of a file system. It's coming out of an LLM that I am constantly feeding, right? I got one long-term memory, one short-term memory. I'm constantly feeding the short-term, and then it consolidates into the long-term. I don't have it working, but it's sort of a solution like that because we all have the same problem. I got data everywhere, right?
Yeah. So at the moment, for example, I think also Hermes works in this way, but Open Cloud for sure. What you have, every single chat that you have with a bot, okay, with AI, gets saved as a raw data. So everything is saved. Nothing will get deleted. So you have the entire discussion, everything you have always exchanged with the AI, it's always been saved as a raw data. Then that means that can be given to the memory, but at the moment managing such a raw data is kind of pretty heavy, okay? Because I don't know you, but I use so much AI, then there is a lot of data. What I've been doing is I create a protocol to create memory logs. Okay, they are kind of intelligent summary because they save not just what I said, but some specific information like why I'm saying this thing, what I want to achieve, and what they intend, and so on. What I learn, the mistakes I made, the mistakes that I made. So kind of more intelligent memory logs, and in that way you can save in a compressed way the most information, and AI can use it in a better way. But the problem remain, where do we put all this data? Because that's what Pascal say. Okay, where do we put it? Okay, I have my personal NAS. Okay, but then it's always a risk. You need to back up. So there's always a technical part. But I don't want to talk about technology. But that is something that we should think on one point. Pascal.
Another thing to think about, and we don't like to think about death, but our digital lives need a central place where we can bring those who will follow us to get the digital assets that we have. Whether it's your Steam game library or your Google password list and all of the sites that you have on there, or any of these things that people care about. I recently had an interaction with a friend whose husband unexpectedly passed away, and now she's scrambling trying to find all of his assets, including monetary ones, that she didn't have the passwords for. And I think we don't do such a great job of this now. I don't have anything right now that I can, if I unexpectedly pass away, that I can give my wife and say, go to this place, verify yourself, and then you will have all the information that's needed. Thanks.
That's excellent.
So in reality, there is a solution. Okay, it's something that I look into. I don't know if because I'm not totally sure if Bitwarden managed this, but one password for sure it does. One password does this thing. Okay, you can set up a system that if you don't open it or you don't use it, for example, for a month, and someone require the password, they will receive it. Okay, so it's a kind of you can give this. I can't remember exactly how it works, but let's say you give it to your partner access to your thing, but with a buffer of 1 month. So you can always block it. But if you don't block it, after 1 month, they will receive access to your account. Okay, that is a system that already exists and resolve that kind of problem. Most people don't even use any password management, so that is yeah, there's a lot of work, but it's a good thing. And because of the we use blockchain, we must learn how to use system that we can, that really safe for saving our data. But yeah, it's a good point, Pascal, and now I'm pretty curious about your Steam Deck, sorry, Steam library. But yeah,
917 titles.
17.
917.
Okay.
Can you please share? I would love to talk to you about Steam and Valve. Really want to talk about Steam and Valve soon.
All right. Anyone else want to add anything?
If I could add to that last piece, Manolo. So
Yes, go ahead.
someone like Pascal was mentioning, like I want to be able to give my wife access to my AI. The thing that I'm building, what I just described, I won't give access to anyone else except for my family members. I'm building like a personal memory concierge for some other family members that have passed. So these are like data pods, so that I can ask it, can you show me a picture, or can you tell me, about this letter, or any of these things that are digital data related to that person. So they're like, I guess personal memory pod is the only real way to describe it. And I'm not just saving it in files. I'm taking the files and then I'm training it back into the model. I'm feeding it back into the model. So it's not like the model just has all these books around it that it can look in. It's actually ingested those, and it kind of gives it some intuition.
Yeah, believe it or not, it's weird that Pascal kind of touches on this, because we're actually one of the projects we're working on is something called the Half Moon Project, and it's to do with instances and to do with a database. And there's some ideas. Some of these are like quite fringe ideas, but let's just say we have a plan in regard to it.
Thank you, guys. There are 8 minutes left. Anything else?
I love that stuff. I've started a few years ago. I started to record older people in my family, because we have all these young voices distorted by social media, and then I wanted to preserve some of the voices before they die. And then what happened, I started to interview the younger woman in the family, for instance, and I would get a very different impression on a proper interview than what you get in the channels. So yeah, archiving all this will be beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, I always thought about doing it, but I never done it.
Can I say one more thing? That's one of the reasons why I'm thinking, is there any way we can use the digital identity features of like the DAO in order to kind of like, you know, verify the ownership of these memories and everything. I'm wondering if this all kind of ties together.
Yeah. You can hash a document, a photo, whatever you want inside the blockchain. So you kind of give the proof of existence. Okay, you say this is real, and I sign it. Okay, so that is how probably the future is going to work for video, because at the moment you can create video of everything. Is it really Donald Trump that one person say that thing or not? Okay, so now I don't know why I came up with Donald Trump, but let's say Donald Trump will sign the video with his wallet and say this is me. Okay, then you have a proof of uh, the fact that it's an original, is not AI generated. That is how the technology could be used through the blockchain. Okay.
It's really important to me that my bot be able to get a stamped identity, because I'm now working with friends where I put them in my Discord with my bot, and we're doing business. Like, we're asking business questions, and I want it to be a trusted bot that's tied to me. And like guys were saying, it's my information. So it's verified that this is me, this is my bot, this is my data. You're not talking to a simulation of me. So I don't know how to achieve that, but want to get there.
Yeah, but this is, I mean, we always end up talking about technology, but this is this is part of Resonant OS. Okay, when we have this the blockchain, that's what it is for. Okay, we have smart contract for this reason. So to access your meeting, there is a smart contract. Okay, you, the AI, everybody needs to sign it. So there is a proof that you are you, and the other the AI is AI. And then whatever you generate, you can hash it on the blockchain, and therefore is there. Okay, there is an evidence of what is done. So, for example, in the future, when we will be able to do it, this call should be also there. So our contribution, there is an evidence that has been done. Okay, and then out of this, what we contributed today will be rewarded in tokens and reputation and so on. And must be an evidence. Okay, so there is a hash of this. So there is a file saved somewhere, but that file has a presence inside the blockchain that demonstrated that that file is original and that action has been done for real because we signed it on the blockchain. But yeah, so yeah, there is a lot to do, clearly. Clearly, there is a lot to do. But there is a lot of us, we will create those tribes and do it. We have time. No stress, no panic.
Yeah, absolutely. This is we're moving the right direction, and not to diverge off the topic, but if you look at what's going on in the market and how things are happening, you know, Meta's laying people off and it's terrible, and the way they're handling things, you know, we have to forge our own way, and we do have time because we've got the right approach and we've got the right technology, and really there's nothing to stop us. We just got to build it.
Yeah, it's yes. So there is. Let's conclude with this happy ending. So we are on. Everything is at the moment is on this exponential curve. Okay, so and we are somehow in sync, but the AI adoption is on this exponential curve. The growth of community is on exponential growth. Okay, so everything is in somehow happening with this curve. The things are accelerating and becoming bigger and more, and you can see with our community this is happening as well. Okay, in a couple of weeks it's going to be a year that I started building this. Okay, and it took so long. The beginning was really slow. Okay, extremely slow. Okay, even with my video, 10 views, 20 views, 100 views, that was it. Okay, and it took 9 months to get to 1,000 subscribers. And this in the last 6 days, I made 1,000 subscribers. Okay, that shows how the acceleration works. So that is the curve we are on. Also with the community is doing this. AI is doing this. adoption of AI, the world is changing with that kind of speed. So we have time because we are still in this semi-quiet moment, but we all can see that this year AI changed a lot. Okay, what we can do this year was really something different. And so the acceleration is started to show up. So there is time because, there is time, but it's gonna accelerate, and I can see now. I mean, the first call that we did was, I don't know, maybe 2 months, 3 months ago, the first community call, and for 2, 3 months, nobody created anything. Okay, and I'm not pointing finger or judging to anybody. Okay, but nobody created anything. Was talking. Today, Tom created this thing, and Michelle yesterday presented this stuff, Momir, and so on. I need to say now because I don't want to not name people. Actually, it's not here.
Yeah, Vlad pushed up some code too. There are people
Yeah, there's a
contributing.
lot of things that Greg is here. Okay, I couldn't see because the camera was off. Greg was actually one of the first people actually to contribute. And today, look at this chat that we had already. Okay, so it's so much more alive. All of you has been contributing same things, and probably you have things on your mind that you didn't say that it's gonna happen. Okay, so the change is real. It's happening. The acceleration is there, so I'm personally pretty excited to see this change. Now we can build. Tom, finally, sorry, Tom, but finally, it's implementing, okay, and it's amazing, okay. He did a great job. But those are all things that we need, and it's happening, okay. That is what I love seeing. We started with 1 day, 1 call a week. Okay, now we have a 5 call a week that we are talking about. We need more. We need more because there is people at other part of time zones, because we need to do more tech stuff. We need more. Okay, so that is the reality, and I love it, and I really appreciate your contribution.
And Manolo, that's 2 months, man. Like, can you imagine anybody building what you've built? And then, it's only been 2 months, and now you've got a lot of people contributing to this project. It's accelerating. So it's very exciting to me. And I appreciate all you guys being here. It's a bright spot of my day, and it's super exciting to be involved. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. And for clarity, it's an 1 year for me. It's not 2 months. Okay? So it's hard work for 1 year, believing that this is going to happen, and it's happening. So I'm really happy, and just sharing this thing that I said earlier. Today on YouTube, I'm 6,000 subscribers, which is still a small, okay, still an extremely small channel. But 1 year ago, I had 0. Okay, so I'm pretty happy about this. All right, thanks a lot. And Chimo, do you want to